Hi all, welcome back. Red Storm, Dark Blue Defection, Scenario 2, good old Uncle Sam. This is going to be part 6 of this playthrough. We're still on turn 3. Yeah, last turn we didn't do an awful lot, I don't think. Now, is me still to go? Remember now, we've got the turn marker there, and I put the initiative chip back out to remind me that I still had one fight to activate. Warsaw Pact. Well, one of their fights has been shown as a dummy. We still got 2 fights for them to activate, to move. Okay, a few things to talk about. 2 or 3 mistakes that I noted on the header of part 5. I've just uploading it now. I'll get to them in a minute. John Brown's made a few comments. Also got a message from, it is Mike, Major Disaster, is his BGG name obviously. To be honest, sorry Mike, you did actually contact me before, did actually message me before, and I forgot, but maybe the mic had stuck up there, but then, to be honest, there's quite a few of you Michaels out there that seem to be following along with things from time to time. Anyway, so John Brown commented, this is a comment on part 2, not an awful lot here. He says, you're correct that hidden is another state Sams can be in during a 2-player game. Yeah, seen that, got that, okay. He says, you're also correct that when a SAM unit is destroyed, its organic AAA is no longer in effect. Okay, so, I was talking about, now we didn't destroy this. So my guess is that we do run through that. Oh, that's actually... Well, hang on. You can... I'm just looking at my flight path through this now. It's only in the hex that AA will be there. I could go around and then through this hex, because if I move into that hex I get AA, and if I come down around this way I'll get AA. I'm not exactly sure what Vegas is doing now. I mean, he does have some BVR. He does have BVR missiles. So, although I was looking at his ammo depletion number, and it's 6, I think, for his BVR missile. So there's a good chance he's going to get one shot with them, and that'll be that. So yeah, but he does, like I say, getting back to John's comment, its organic AA is no longer in effect. So my guess is it is still in effect there, because even though this is heavily damaged, it is still there, so good enough. The other thing he mentions is, and it's quite an interesting point, I will get around to making some response to these, John. It's just I had the chance to press record at the moment, and I'll take that first, and then I can jot some response down later on. Plus, it brings it fresh to my mind what exactly we are talking about here. He says, my only other comment here is that I think the SAM location table would have been better written as a table with the RWR base range versus SAM launch, and the DRM. Then the general DRMs could be below, roll 1 die, and a 10 plus the SAM is okayed. And I see what I think I see what he's saying here. It's not as, it could have been better laid out this. There's the roll up there. This is the bit that tells base ranges. What I think he's saying is, have the RWR base range, and then range versus the SAM launch, and the DRM. Yeah, because the DRM, roll 110, yeah. Yeah, I think I found it slightly awkward to read. Maybe that's what it was. He's not put a timestamp to this, to be honest. But I remember we were in here obviously because we were trying to locate. And he's basically saying I think it could have been laid out a bit better, but fair enough. Right, so thanks for that, John. So not an awful lot there, which is a good sign. Although I don't mind hearing comments, just from my point of view that. Am I getting things right, etc. So let me jump in. He also commented on part 3, so we'll pause just now, right? Okay, so John Brown again, there's a few more comments here and he's got some timestamps here, so, but I know the first one, I know what he's talking about. So at 20-minute mark, it is logical that the Warsaw Pact flights would manoeuvre to avoid their flat barrage zones. He says the only time I don't do that is when they are actively moving towards a NATO flight, and the only path that would put them in range goes through a barrage zone. So it makes sense. So it's maybe not possible here, but the next time this moves, if it meant going into this hex to get within range, then yeah, I think we would do that. But however, if it's going to just continue on its flight path, then it makes sense to avoid. So that's what I was going to do. I was going to avoid going up these hexes and go up here. But I think the MiG-29 might react slightly differently now. But we're going to get to that next turn. Yeah, there's a few. I think Mike made some comment on that, and quite a few of Mike's comments I think I've realised later on in later parts, and that's the disadvantage to me uploading a part early and then in a later part realising where my thinking was wrong, or suddenly noticing a rule and whatever, and people have commented, which that's fair enough, because I'm probably talking about it wrongly. So if anybody's watching, then their comments will be worth taking note of. So 39.50 minute mark, John says, when faced with an arm attack, the bot always tries to keep the SAM radar on, i.e. does not exercise the voluntary shutdown option if allowed. And we eventually noticed this one on Play Raid card 5 where it says that. This is on the arm launch line of the bot SAM actions table. Yeah, you find this way. Right, okay, so he's actually noted that I found it later, so I must have found it in that part. There is never a voluntary arm shutdown when the launching flight is undetected. So I must have been talking about that as well. So if you were playing a 2-player game basically, or if they were attacking me and their flight was undetected, then I wouldn't be able to voluntarily shut down my radar. Yeah, okay, so that's what he's saying there. But this next part is pretty important too. He says the SAM may still involuntary shut down per the arm attack section of Play Raid card 2. Yeah, because if we attack it, we can actually shut it down. Is that right? Hang on. Yeah, sorry, I thought he might have had the wrong Play Raid card there, but no, he's right enough, of course. It's here. So this is the arm attack chart. So it says it's still involuntary shutdown per the arm attack section. Yeah, because if no voluntary shutdown, target takes arm morale check, fails on a 5 or less, DRMs +1 launching flight undetected. If launched from 10 hexes away, if check fails, mark with shutdown marker. Or they are a flight detected enemy player. Right, that's the male. That's a voluntary option. So that's the involuntary option that if we, if you get that result, then it would still shut down the radar. Okay. His next comment was at 1 hour 13 minutes 20 seconds. Infrared SAMs can fire at undetected flights. Check out 15.44 for the details. Well, I did find this one out, and I think I looked at BGG for this. So whether I've mentioned it in this part or maybe a future part, that I must have been unsure when I was talking about it here. I've not gone looked at the actual video that he's got timestamped, which I probably should. But I know what he's meaning. So he's referred us to this rule for the details regarding the fact that they can fire at undetected flights. And I just glancing at that, I'm not reading through it very slowly or anything, but what I'm not seeing is something that tells me that it can fire at an undetected flight. But what I'm also seeing is there's nothing there that says that it can attack an undetected flight. So I think that's why I went looking further. I don't think it specifically states there, does it? that it can attack an undetected flight. But like I say, it doesn't say the opposite. So yeah, so I think that's why I went and looked for it there. But yeah, okay. And SAM location only requires line of sight. The SAM can be in any hemisphere of the flight attempting SAM location. Right, let me have a look at that one. Ah, yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad they brought this one up then. I wasn't really quite grasping that. When we try to locate the SAM. Right, hang on. Yeah, I think it's when Vegas flight was a wee bit further back, and he was facing this way, and we wanted to maybe locate. Was it or was it Cobra maybe? Because it's Cobra, it's got the longer range, isn't it? No, hang on. This is for. Oh no, it was Vegas because he's got the better RWR rating, isn't it? That was it. But he was facing down this way, and I said that he maybe needs to be in the front arc, or the front. What was the other one? Hemisphere. And I said, well, it'll be all right because I'll be turning him round, and now this is in the front arc to locate. This is what John's talking about. He's basically saying SAM location only requires line of sight. The SAM can be in any hemisphere of the flight attempting SAM location. So I could be facing this way and still locate. Is that right? But I wouldn't have line of sight, surely. The SAM can be in any hemisphere of the flight attempting SAM location. Well, I don't know, I mean, yeah, because line of sight doesn't really care about what way you're facing, does it? And to determine line of sight, draw an imaginary line from the centre of the unit's hex to the other unit, treat ground units, targets being on deck, and then line of sight is blocked under any of the following conditions. One or more hexes a dense cloud, any intervening hexes contain a broken cloud or mist, and then both units are on deck. So, yeah, we could be, in fact, two flights could be facing the opposite direction from each other, and you could still have line of sight. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I guess this whole turning around in your cockpit and looking behind you, I don't know, or maybe there's some kind of camera that looks out the back or something. I don't know. You would think there's maybe something like that. But. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So that's good to know. So it doesn't matter. We can still make the location check, right? And then his last comment here is, let me see. It's a big one actually. Okay, so his final comment is at 1 hour 45 minutes 55 seconds, and it's when I'm wondering about SAM acquisition. I've not watched it through there, but the latest acquisition attempt dictates the type of acquisition. So, for instance, if the previous acquisition was partial, it can upgrade to full. Now, I think I did mention this. Okay, it can upgrade to full, stay a partial acquisition, or the SAM can lose acquisition, which is the no acquisition on the acquired column. Here. Okay. No, you always use the acquired column if that SAM has a given flight acquired, regardless of detected, undetected status. Right, okay. So, doesn't matter if it's detected or undetected, if you've got it acquired, you use this column. Right, cool. Okay. So how do we've got a partial on our Saint flight, which is our F-16. So next time, if I think the fact they can only target us again, can't they? Because they've got a partial acquisition already. So, yeah, okay. So it could upgrade. However, it could downgrade. So we're gonna roll on this column next time, and it doesn't matter if the target's detected or undetected, like John just stated. I mean, at the moment it's detected, but it might drop out of detection, but we still use this acquired column. So we've got partial acquisition, so we'd roll on that. Again, modifiers there, but we could end up, I suppose, less than or equal to a 1. with a no acquisition, so then that partial acquisition would come off. We could end up with another partial, so stays at partial, or it could upgrade to a full. I think that's what he's saying there. I guess I kind of thought there might have been something that says if you get 2 partials, you get a full. So if we got this result, for instance, while we had a partial, I think I was maybe thinking, does that become a full? But not how I'm seeing. He's putting it that you're going to get one of these 3 results still. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, right. Thanks for your comments there, John. That was all for now. So not too bad. However, there's 2 more videos out there now for you to go and have a look at. 4 and 5 is just coming up just now. Well, yeah. When you see this, it's obviously going to be up there. Right. So let's. Right, hold on. Might as well stick with some more comments. Let's see what Mike had to say. Okay, so this is from Mike, Major Disaster on BGG. I won't read out his full post because it was just a personal message to myself, but just some of the things that he's brought up regarding the game, obviously. He emphasises with me the fact that you can read these rules over and over and you still to put them together properly, it's not such an easy task. Maybe for one that has played the game numerous times, and yeah, any game's going to become easier that way. One of the issues he suggests maybe that Red Storm has its own solo rules, and so does Dark Blue Defection. Well, Dark Blue Defection is modifying them, he says. He does state it's not a criticism, but just the fact just the fact the game is well worth effort as well, he says, which it is. Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad that they did create this expansion, but it's a fair point. You're then having to, like I was saying, all these player aids to look at, big rule book, and then you've still got to look at Dark Blue Defection rule book from time to time as well, just to that'll take us away from that for now. Just to check for some differences in that, in special scenario rules, etc. And then, like I say, I think he's got 2 or 3 comments here that I eventually realise. Let's just see. Just like you, I spent time in the bot fights trying to avoid being hit. This is one I wanted to look up. Well, I wasn't sure what he was meaning here. Just like you spent time in the bot fights trying to avoid being hit. Then I read on Player Aid Card 5, page 2. Right, wait till I get that. And I see what he's saying now. So thanks for bringing this one up, Mike. This is AA actions table, which is this bar table down the very bottom there. And he finishes off by saying it looks like bot flights apply deconfliction, which is rule 14.74. He's got a question mark at the end of that, but no, you seem to be right here, Mike. It says fire on any enemy flight in range at earliest possible time during movement phase. Ignore bot player flights. Fire on any. This is the AAA action table. Modifiers, really, I'm not. AA activation table, as required during ISR phase. Well, we're past all that. I don't think DBD uses any of that. Or when human player flight within 1 hex checks for activation, max 1 check. So I suppose if they were unactivated, this would check if they were, well, they could be dummies as well. Maybe that does come in later, but we've got sort of real AAAs here, so I don't think any of that applies. And it says there, if real AAC scenario for AAA activation instructions. Well, all the other AAs are turned on, they're all activated, so I don't think there was any talk about them especially, was there? 4 white flag, setup located. I think that's all that's said about them. But yeah, I mean, reading that bottom table, their action is they're going to fire on any enemy flight, and this just says enemy flight though, in range at earliest possible time during the movement phase. And then it's got ignore bot player flights. However, it does have in brackets, deconfliction 14.74 applies. Yeah, just read it all, Grant, and finish it. Okay, well, that's news. I'm surprised nobody else has mentioned that then. I'm quite surprised John Brown didn't mention that, because he even mentioned that he would avoid moving past flak. So we don't need to do that at all. Because just to read what it says in 14.74, AAA deconfliction, this is in the main rulebook, and it states that, well, hang on, I'm showing you that, hang on, can we get that in there? Well, we can, but there it's there. AAA deconfliction, right? So this is the rule in the main rulebook. So friendly flights, this is on page 24, friendly flights, including dummies, that enter a hex at deck altitude are not attacked by a friendly AAA barrage unless they entered as a consequence of scatter or SAM avoidance. So I want to say that bit might apply to them then if they're scattered or SAM avoidance. But however, that's just saying that they don't apply at deck. However, this table down here is overriding that to say that it applies at all altitudes. The very last part applies at all altitudes. So, although you could argue, like I've just said, the scatter and the SAM avoidance, it does say ignore bot player flights. So I'm not sure if you would still apply it with the scatter and the SAM avoidance. But yeah, doesn't matter what altitude they're at. In fact, to be honest, I'm glad you brought up that deconfliction in itself, because I wouldn't have realised that if they'd been at deck, there wouldn't be an issue. So that kind of means that if we're at deck moving past some of our AA, we would be alright. However, if the bot just ignores it. So that's, yeah, good one. Yeah, I'm really glad that was brought up, because I didn't know that. Okay, next. Right, I can't quite grasp where this one is, Mike. I know what you're talking about, I think, but I want to get play read card 2 or 3 out just to find, where is it? It's not that one. Looks like it might be this one then. Yeah. Well, what he says is, SAM attack, play read card 5, page 3, which is this. Bot SAM activation table, which is this. End of paragraph 1. He says you need to roll 1d10 for long range attacks against something I've just noticed. He says you make good points on the modifiers. I'm still thinking about these. I'm not seeing. I mean, it talks about long range, possible long range in there, unless I'm not reading the right bit here. Could it be in here in results? I don't know, but I initially thought what he was talking about was something that I spotted in the end anyway. So just coming into this, and then we've got these long range here, and I got this sussed out, and we did eventually realise that for our AC11, and when Mike posted this, that he's probably not watched my videos since, so that's fair enough. So what was it? SA13, wasn't it? And I seen this too, and at first I wasn't considering this as long range, and then I realised, hang on, we are at range 2, so we must be at long range. So not only does this give a -1 modifier because of, -1 modifier because it's at long range. We also had to roll. Now where was the bit that I had to roll then? Yeah, that's what Mike must have linked. I don't think it's in that bit though. Hang on. Okay, yeah, it is in here. Whether Mike's just, or it's me, now this could be me, I'm not saying, or it could be that he's maybe just linked the wrong information. Because it was this bit here, and I spotted it, wasn't it? It says roll 1d10 before long range SAM attack, odd equals attack, even equals no attack. So maybe just the way I'm reading that, bot SAM activation table. Well, after paragraph 1, yeah, maybe he's just jumping down here. Okay, I think we know what we're talking about now, and I think when you get to the next videos, I eventually get that. So, yeah, I think that's all good. Where are we now? Next one, hang on. Okay, Mike's next comment is, and again, another one that I eventually pick up on, is this arm launch. If detected enemy flight fires arms, all SAMs attempt to keep radar on. Now, he has a couple of questions afterwards, but I think the fact that, going by John Brown's comments recently, we should be able to answer them. So, attempt to keep radar on. He says, keywords for me are detected and attempt. What if undetected? Would you attempt to keep it on, and how? If the flight is undetected, you don't have the option to keep it on, do you? That's right. If it's because that's a comment John just made as well recently, didn't he? That I just went over. If a flight is undetected, then it's not. You don't have the option, so it would automatically shut it down, wouldn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I think the bot just doesn't get the option. Here's 17.53 radar shutdowns. Provided the launching flight is detected, the player targeted by the arm may voluntarily, and that just gets taken out in the bot side of it, and basically just says the player will shut down. The player will, keep his radars going. Won't shut it down. It won't voluntarily shut it down. So, does it add to that? Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't really discuss what an undetected flight. It only sort of leaves you with the whole providing the launching flight is detected, this will happen. So if the player does not or cannot voluntarily shut down, and I think that's what no, hang on, am I getting muddled up here myself? Provided the launching flight is detected, the player targeted by the arm may voluntarily shut down SAM radars in the launching flight's forward hemisphere. And if he does not or cannot, yeah, I'm getting muddled up here, am I? So if it's detected, the player may voluntarily shut down. If it's undetected, the player is not have the option to voluntarily shut down. Yeah, so bot SAMs will just not shut down. That's it, innit? I'm getting myself in a muddle there. I think that's the case, Mike. Yeah, they just keep the radars on, and then you follow on from there. I don't know. There's some good and bad with that, isn't there? There's a big modifier if they shut it down, and there's I don't know. We've not really got into that and seen what happens. So hopefully it'll become a bit clearer as things go on. Okay, right, moving on. Infrared SAMs will follow the heat signature, so the missile needs to find the heat source when firing in the front hemisphere, hence the negative dice roll modifier. Okay. I was talking about maybe I was asking about why that was. There's an explanation of that. He says, and yeah, I'm going to take you up on this as well, Mike. He says, please use the... Now, where are they? Are they green? No, they're kind of yellow. There they are. He says, please consider, he says, please consider using the yellow dash counters. You can then mark off fuel. So I think I'm going to start doing that. And that sees, I didn't realise there was markers for these. because I can see myself possibly not marking a fuel point off when I've hit dash throttle and then pausing the game somewhere. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually apply the fuel, mark the fuel off in the proper phase from now on, and I'm going to mark the flight that dashes with a dash, so that I then move it. Now I'll not be able to do that to finish this turn because I think we've already had a dash. Well, I've marked it off, haven't I? So I could still do it. But yeah, good idea. So I'm going to do that. And he also says, regarding movement point, I always use a D10 to track movement point spent. So there we go. Right, and I'll shortly reply to your post there, Mike. It's just, again, I've not had the time, and I had time to sort of press record, whereas I can look that over at work tomorrow probably. Okay, right, that's all the comments, and we're 30 minutes in. Yeah, every time I get comments, it's 20 or 30 minutes go by before we get anything done. Okay, well, what about the mistakes then? Right, okay, so 3 sort of mistakes to make. Well, this one I get away with. So it looks like this part is maybe going to be an awful lot of nothing. I'll make a comment in the header as usual. I might get something moving. We might get our last flight moved at least. So at the 31-minute mark of part 5, yeah, this is all from the last part, yeah. So I get mixed up with this again. At least I think I do. And you know what it is that throws me? Is it talks about the Soviet doctrine down here, and I'm looking at it, and then I realise, oh, it's only if the Warsaw Pact flights are attacking, or MiG-29s don't count, and it was a MiG-29 we were talking about here. We were attacking the MiG-29. And so then I proceed to think that, right, how many flights has the MiG-29 got? How many aircraft? Sorry, it's got 2, and I'm looking down this column. Again, thinking it's referring to them, but it's not, is it? This is the attacking flights. Because clearly the better number you've got here, if you've got 4 flights, then you're going to get up here and get, that's the amount of shots that you're going to have, the amount of shot opportunities, So, but fortunately, the Cobra flight had 2 aircraft as well. So, me talking about this being the MiG-29's number of aircraft, it would have been the same column. But I need to watch that, because I did do that the first time as well. I think I maybe was lucky and got away with it the same way. But anyway, the result, I think, should have been still the same. So, fingers crossed. Okay, moving on. Okay, the next one at 42 minutes, 27 seconds. It's when I'm doing the morale check. And I go through the modifiers, and I talk about this modifier first, and then this, and then this. And I'm confused about this, because I'm going to remember, who are we talking about here? We're talking about the MiG-29 flight that's had a... Well, they have to take a morale check. Yeah, they have to take a morale check. I mean, they got one aircraft shot down anyway. So, yeah, and it was in this one. Is it per enemy aircraft shot down? And then you've got to think about it, and you're saying, right, I'm checking for us, so it's per friendly aircraft shot down, -1. So I give us a -1, and because I spend time concentrating on that, I forget about this. And their aggression value is +1 at the time. So I give them a -1. It should be a net 0, and a roll of 13, and a 13 on the BVR column was there, whereas I give a -1, knocked it down to there, which would have give a -1 aggression value with jettison check. However, the result should have been a +0 with jettison check. So I will now wipe out that. So it should have been a no effect, really. So I marked them with the green pen, marked them down to 0, but it shouldn't have been, because it should have just stayed the same. So that was that. That's that fixed. And the last one at the 45-ish minute mark was I forgot to check for bailout. Now I followed the sequence through here, and we done the morale check, and then markers, and I placed the BVR avoid marker, but there's a step still to come, Grant. Step H down there. Bailout 26.1. Roll for bailouts for any aircraft that were shot down. I totally skipped by that, totally forgot about it. So let's do that, and then that should be everything, and hopefully maybe move one of my flights before I have to cut this. Okay, so bailouts. I wasn't sure there was a bit in the play route, but there is. It's underneath this, but I thought since I've not really done this yet, we should, excuse me, just check the rules here. So if an aircraft is shot down, roll a die for each crew member. On a roll of 4 or less, the crew member fails to survive. On a 5 or more, the crew member bails out and a parachute marker is placed on the map. Place the marker in the same hex as the flight of the lost aircraft. If the flight is on a hex side when lost, place the marker in either hex, only player's choice. If the bailout roll is a 10, the crew member flies some distance before bailing out. Roll 1 die and move the marker that number of hexes away from the flight equal to the roll. The owning player chooses a specific hex. The final hex occupied by the parachute marker is the hex the crew lands on. It takes a number of game turns before the parachute and crew lands in the hex. Bailouts from deck altitude land the same turn. Just glancing at our flight at its low altitude. So bailouts from medium, high, bailouts from low altitude take 2 turns. Bailouts from medium, high, or very high take 10 turns. After the required number of turns, flip the marker to the crew side in the admin phase. Once landed, crew markers never move and are removed from the map only via rescue or capture. So just... Sorry, I'll maybe cut that bit off. Just following up with that, automatic rescue capture. If the crew marker lands on the friendly side of the front, rescue by friendly forces is automatic. So he's just on his side of the front. I'm just looking there. This guy here, isn't pull off. So he's just on his side of the front. Front markers go up there. He was at low altitude, so he's going to land in 2 turns in that hex and just be automatically rescued. Is that right? Marker lands on the friendly side of the front. Rescue by friendly forces automatic. If the crew marker lands on the enemy side of the front and is in an urban road or airfield hex or hex occupied by an enemy ground SAM unit, it is immediately captured. The marker is removed from play. Combat search and rescue missions. Simple combat search and rescue missions comes up next. I don't think this is coming into our scenario, is it? Detailed combat search and rescue missions. I think I'm just going back to my dark blue defection rules here, and it just regards points for well, there you go. Just you would get 1 point. Well, actually, we've shot down an aircraft now. Warsaw Pact NATO victory point for Warsaw Pact aircraft shot down is another 2 points. So we're actually sitting at 5 points now. That was good. And the part about crew members, enemy crew member killed or captured. So if we roll the dice here and he doesn't parachute out, we'll get an extra point for that. But however, we're not going to be able to capture him because he's going to land in a safe hex. Right, okay. Right, I think I can just look at the play raid now. So there we are, there, the play raid. This is play raid 3. So yeah, well, let's roll the dice. So, well, ideally we're looking for a 1 to 4, aren't we? On a 1d10. So, let's see what we got. 7. Damn. Okay, so place parachute marker in the hex. Right. So, what I'll do is... Oh, no, it's not on that side. Right? It's on the parachute side. So, I'll put that underneath that, I think. Now, the thing is, it's not really going to matter about the number of turns, is it? Because nothing else can happen to that, I don't think. I mean, it just... It doesn't discuss there about its turns to land, does it? No, place parachute marker in the hex. Yeah, it doesn't actually mention the fact it's going to take 2 turns at a low altitude. But if the crew member lands on the friendly side of the front, he is automatically rescued by friendly forces. So there's not going to be an issue with that. He's just going to land in 2 turns and be rescued, I believe. Okay, well that's a shame because that would have been 1 extra point, but oh well. Right, I think that was it. Okay, let's carry on. We're only at 40 minutes, Grant, so we can probably squeeze in something. Just notice my battery's very low though as well, so I'll maybe not be an awful lot of something. So we've got one. We had the initiative. It was our initiative where we've got our 1 flight still to activate. So I'm going to take that away this time and put that back in the cup. And we're going to move this guy. Now he wasn't able to get in range, was he? Now he's the F-16. Does he have any BVR weapons? I don't think he does he? Well, actually he does, but only range 2, maximum range 2. So yeah, he can't sort of consider try to have a launch at this. It's going to be too far away. So, and the most he can get is at low altitude for the F-16, and he's laden. Yeah, so his combat throttle speed would be a 3, dash would be a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 puts me in the IP, really, isn't it? Oh, that's me showing the low battery now. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. So I'm just as well using normal combat throttle, I think. And then next turn he'll be able to move in and attack, I think. So okay, so we're going to give him just normal combat throttle, and it's at low altitude. That's a speed of 3. He doesn't want to adjust his altitude, does he? We found that low was, well, medium was better from avoiding them, but it wasn't as good for us attacking, or vice versa. Right, so he's got partial acquisition as well, which is fine. So 1, yeah, hang on here. I did say I should start. I'll find a better. That's where I started. So that's 1. I know there's not an awful lot to be done here, so it's maybe not a complex. Actual fact, I think I'm just moving 2 more hexes further on, really. Yeah, I think I am. So I'm just going to go 2, 3, stay on the spine there. Obviously it's still partially acquired by the SC11, and yeah, he's not in range of the SC13, but hopefully we're going to move into the next turn and then have a knock that SC13 out, and hopefully the result will be the same and it'll not hit us. You could see that we had it pretty well, and with the modifiers it's quite difficult for the SAMs to actually achieve a possible hit even, I didn't think I even got to that, did I? Right, okay, well that's us moved all our flights. So over at the Warsaw Pack, now they've got the 2 flights up here left to move, so both of them are diamonds, aren't they? These are both detected as well, so all their flights are detected at the moment. So both diamonds, played card 5, yep, here it is. So, yeah, no, we don't need to roll actually, we're just going to go in alphabetical order. So it's flight A first. So, again, the deciding factor is there a detected flight within 7X? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is not for him. So he's going to continue following his, yeah, we will be able to finish this part, I think, yeah. This turn, yeah. So he's following the green, isn't he? So 1, and he's got a movement point value of 4, right? He's at low altitude. There's his 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hang on, no, he comes down here then. So is that right? Yeah, because he started over there, down here, and then across to there, and then it's going to come back up. So 1, 2, and then a 60-degree free turn. That's us spent 2 of our movement points. And he's still at low altitude. And then we're going to do the check for the altitude, the possible altitude change. Can't remember what it is again. Well, there's 2 or 3 different options there. So 1 die. That's right, isn't it? Coming down there. Yeah. Yeah, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, that's not even in 7 yet as well. I mean, I could have moved right into that hex, I suppose. Then I would have been within 7. Should I be doing that? Does it matter? I don't think so, because I've still got 2 movement points to make. Yeah, but there was nothing stopping you moving in that hex, Grant, wasn't there? 1, 2... No, because I was here, wasn't I? Yeah. So 1, 2, 60-degree turn. Yeah, we'll just leave them there. So let's roll for this possible random altitude change, maybe. I rolled a 9. So spend a movement point to climb 1 altitude band. So yeah, he can do that. So he's going to spend 1 movement point, and he's going to go up to medium. No. Oh yeah, I do. Medium. So that's him climbing to medium altitude. He's got 1 movement point left. He's heading now towards his next waypoint, which is down here. So he's just going to come 1 down into there. And that is that. This movement is complete. Yeah, I think so. Right, and then the last flight should be even simpler, really. So he's just going to go 1. Right, he's got 3 movement points left. He's at high. Oh, he's at... no, we're not considering the... no, Grant. Yeah, we're clean through... Oh, I made a mistake there. Yeah, because he should only have 3. He should only have 3. He was at low. That's right, and we're following the clean movement profile for SU-24C at combat throttle. So at low altitude, this guy would only have had 3 movement points. So my bad. So I'm going to move him back 1 hex. He's still at medium altitude. This one should have had 4 though, because he's at high altitude. So that's 1. I've marked that down. 2, 3, and then yeah, I've kind of got to go in. So 4 and then free turn. So he's behind them. That's all his movement done. He should be marked with a turn marker, eh? And he is now within 1, so we can roll for him on the altitude as well, but he's no movement left, so it might mean he can't do. So let's roll anyway. Roll the 10. Spend movement point to climb 1 altitude band. Well, he can't. Well, actually, he's up high as well, so if not possible to climb or descend, you just treat it as no change. But he didn't have movement points left anyway, so I think that just stays at that. So that's it. That's us all moved. Okay, right. Let's move on to the next step in the sequence of play then. So the next phase is the fuel phase, but I'm going to do what Mike suggested and start using my dash counters, and then adjusting the fuel in this phase, because I can see myself getting caught out with that, and forgetting to do it when I actually used it, and then wondering if I've done it later on and whatever. Whereas if I do use the marker, I know it's an extra marker on the map, which may be a bit of a pain, but it should keep things right. Okay, and I think I can take all the wee blue counters off, can't I? Right, so next would be SAM location phase. So we are now, no, was it 12? Was it 12 hexes? I think it was, wasn't it? Right, wait till I find the right play rate. Right, so SAM location 15.13. In the SAM location phase, both players may try to locate unlocated SAMs marked with SAM warning markers. Roll for each unlocated SAM within the line of sight and SAM detection range of a flight based on the RWR rating. And exactly what John pointed out there was, it just says line of sight and range. It doesn't mention that you need to have it in any kind of forward facing hemisphere, arc, whatever. Increase the range by 5 hexes of a SAM launch marker on the SAM. There is not roll 1 die modifiers indicated in the SAM location table if the roll is equal to or greater than 10. The SAM is located and the SAM warning marker is replaced with the corresponding SAM unit counter. Otherwise, it remains unlocated. Okay, so we're on this chart here. Now, it's our Vegas flight that we're looking at. And he has an RWR of, that's a wild weasel, he's an RWR of D, so this is why we're getting to do it. So he's got a base range of 12, so as long as he's got line of sight and it's within 12 hexes, we can attempt location. We're also going to get a +4 because, well, that's what the modifier is. It doesn't have a SAM launch marker, right? We get a +4, we need a 10 or greater. So just looking up there, this is what we're trying to achieve. Within 12 hexes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he's within 9 hexes. Line of sight, there's no issues. Remember, line of sight is basically mist, cloud cover. The only other one is if this was at, well, this actually is classed as being at deck. If we were at deck and there was a mountain hex in between that line, but we're not. We're at low altitude, which is maybe just lucky. Well, no, I don't think there's no mountains in between anyway. No. Okay, so I'm going to roll, and we're going to get a +4. So we need a 6 or better to locate this SAM. So let's do it. Oh, 1. You know what? It rolled off the 9 there. 1. So just had one of these slow rolls at the end. I'd like to show the dice rolls, but it's bad enough showing the charts and what. Well, it's not really. To be honest, I've found that I need to look at these myself. I think I mentioned this last time. I need to look at them myself anyway. So why not just adjust the camera a wee bit, pause and set the chart out and have a look at it together. So no, not happening then. So we're not getting to locate that. I can't remember the benefits to that because I think we can still use our Shrike missiles on it, can't we? Even if it is unlocated. Well, we will find out maybe next turn. Because Vegas, that's what he's wanting to try and do now. But like I said about this, we're going to have to go up and around. It shouldn't be too difficult because we don't want to go through that hex, or we're going to take a AAA check, I think. Right, next in the sequence of play, remember that's only unlocated SAM. We don't have any SAMs for them to try and locate. Track phase, all detected NATO flights at deck and rough terrain, all flights at deck and in adjacent to, right, let's check for any flights at deck. I see nothing. There's nothing at deck level. We'll just zoom out on what you see there. And there's 2 or 3 at low. Yeah, there's 3 at low, but nothing at deck. So we're not checking that. We're going to get our table. Oh, happens to be on that one. Good. Right. We are going to do the track table check thing though. So both players. So well, we'll roll for us first. So this is we've only got a diamond that's undetected. That's detected up there. Same. So this is a Warsaw Pact level. So it's a D. No, it's a C. Sorry. Warsaw Pact level C, aren't they? That's right. Honestly, this really bugs me that I can't sink this in my head. It's them that are. See, it feels like because this is them undetecting, so it's feels a bit weird. Yeah, my way back checking it again. 10.3 try phase on page 16. If a symbol is rolled, all enemy detected flight counters with matching symbols become undetected. So it is, yeah. Hopefully it'll stick. So we're rolling 2 dice on the C column, which is what the Warsaw Pact detection level is, to see if we can see if that diamond might become undetected. We rolled a 10 on the C. It's a heart in brackets, so it would have to be low on its side. Well, it isn't low actually, but it's not a heart, so no. So he stays. Right, now for us, checking them, well they're all detected their flights. So we've got a heart here and 2 diamonds up there. So we'd rather not see any of that. So we're rolling to check on the D column. So let's see what we get. 14, I think the higher the better here. D14, oh, it's a diamond. Ah, that's sore. Yeah. 14 on the D column is a diamond. So both these flights are going to become undetected. Right, I'll just pause and flip them over. Okay, there we go. So that wasn't so good. Yeah. Oh well. Well, we'll see. We move in the next turn. They might get detected again. You never know. But yeah, quite a good result for the Warsaw Pact there. Right, moving on. That's the track phase. SAM acquisition. Oh yeah, okay. So we've got to do this as well, haven't we? Because we do have an acquired, a partially acquired SAM on that. Right, I was on pause for a little bit there. Right, so SAM acquisition, just to maintain or whatever it's going to do with this. So we look at this again and roll to see if there's any changes, I think. So we have a partial acquisition this time on the F-16 Saint flight. So this is the column we're looking at now, so you can see the results are going to be, it's more likely to get a full acquisition. Modifiers, however, target defense, jamming strength, not applicable, burn through applies. Right, well, we've all got a 3D jamming strength, so that is a -3. Standoff spot jamming, no. Target on deck. I wonder if I could have dropped to deck to help out with that. Might have been able to actually. Never thought of that. See, these are things you've got to keep in mind, innit? Because I was at low altitude, and one of my, my last movement point there, I could have dropped to deck and possibly climbed to low altitude again next turn to go and attack the SA-13 anyway. Anyway, we didn't do that. EO tracking, I don't... Yeah, because it does talk about this, doesn't it? 15.54, but is it not... One of them needs to be within range of 4, and one of the other one, the LOL, the lock-on after launch, I think, needs to be if your radar's switched off, I think, isn't it? I don't think any of these apply. 15.54. Yeah, and both of these are advanced rules, but I suppose they're advanced rules, but they're still rules. Only SAMs with a radar on may attempt HEO tracking. Not allowed at night. Target must be detected at a range of 4 or fewer hexes and in line of sight. Well, it is detected, but it's not within 4 hexes. So that's, and I think just glancing across at walking after lunch. Well, actually, that's the next modifier, isn't it? Target must be detected. No acquisition is required prior to the attack. Sorry, I've skipped by a bit. Only SAM units with a radar off may attempt LOL attacks. So that doesn't apply as well. So yeah, we checked this last time, didn't we? Fight conducted anti-radar tactics that did not. Quick acquisition detected only. Quick acquisition. That's something else. I think I want to say that the radar needs to be switched off. What was it? 15.26? No, 15.22. If the SAM radar is switched off at the start of the SAM acquisition phase, it may try a quick acquisition. So that's something that's a may though, so I don't know if the bot considers that or not. So that'd be under SAM rules, wouldn't it? SAM flight I'm not seeing any there that talks about quick acquisition, but no, it can't be because the SAM radar is on. Well, what if it wasn't on though, Grant? Right, okay, whatever. And then the last modifier, target and shaft corridor. So we've got a -3 to this die roll, and remember we are acquired, so we're rolling on that column. It's 2 dice. So 2 dice -3. We want a low result. I've rolled 12. Yeah, not quite as low as I like. So that is -3. So 9. Yeah, it's greater than 8, isn't it? Damn. Yeah. And I think, like I said, like what John confirmed was this if we got this result, partial acquisition, the fact we've got partial, it just means it stays partial. That's what I think I'm getting from that. Whereas I was talking about, well, does 2 partials make a full? But I don't think that's the case. But anyway, we've rolled above 8, we've rolled a 9. So that acquisition is going to turn from partial into full. I'll flip that over. So that's full acquisition now. So not so good. So I'm guessing that's going to make them more vulnerable when the time comes to attack. And remember, he's in range. Have I missed something? Well, yeah, I have, haven't I? Damn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's 9 hexes away. So when he moved from there to there, he was 10 away. And we should have considered. Sorry, I probably didn't have that on camera right. Let's say he's 9 hexes away just now. But that AC11 has a range to fire a 10. Damn. So this should have happened. Fortunately, that was the last flight I moved, wasn't it? Well, we moved the Warsaw Pack flights in between then, but so let me go back one here. into this hex here, and we'll turn that back onto partial acquisition, because that's the state it would have been on at the time this happened. So when I moved into there, I would have one movement point left. Okay, let's keep the SAM in line as well. So, and then that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hexes away with a partial acquisition. So, yeah, this guy would have had a go at us, I think. Right, give me a sec. Yeah, so bought SAM actions table. Movement phase. SAMs will attempt to fire at moving enemy flights as soon as possible. All SAM rules of engagement limit supply. SAM state, SAM warning. SAM acquisition, SAM attacks. SAM fire prerequisite. SAM units will only fire at flights during the movement phase following target's expenditure of a movement point. Well, remember, we've just spent our third of 4 movement points here and came within range. SAMs may only fire at acquired flights, and then exceptions, but that is, we are acquired. SAM may fire no more than once per game turn. SAMs may not fire at targets that are at less than minimum range. Yeah, well, that's not the case. No more than 2 SAM units may attack the same flight. Deconfliction. SAM units may not fire if an airborne enemy flight, including a dummy, is within 4 hexes of the target. That's not going to be the case, so that's okay. Optional rule, well, we're not going to do that. Resolving SAM attacks. Before resolving, the attacking player may choose to fire salvo. Well, they're not allowed to do that. That's within here, no salvos. And then, yeah, and then we're going to roll on the SAM attack table, which we'll get to. However, we are going to have to check for the long range first, because we are at long range. So, thing is, once I move again my extra point, they're going to check this again, aren't they? Because I've got another movement point to go. Roll 1d10. So, odd is attack and even is no attack. Right, let's go. Even is no attack. Right, but however, and I'm not going to mess about with this because it was my bad not getting this. Because maybe I should have realised this is all happening. We're going to move our final movement point of the turn, still with the partial acquisition. And that's another movement point. So I think we now check this again, because he's now within range. He's at range 9, which I'm not going to get the chart out yet, but it was between 8 and 10 that was long range. So it's still long range, so we still do this check. So again, odd will attack, even the won't. It's even again. An 8 again. So no attack. Well, that's kind of good then. In some ways, it doesn't mean I need to go any further with that. So let's just jump on again to the SAM acquisition. We'll give that a full acquisition now, as it was. Yeah, but yeah, I did miss that, didn't I? And they should have, yeah, actually, there's the chart there. So it's an SA11. 8 to 10 is long range. So we rolled the first time, going on the bot rules, because they've got to decide, do they want to do this? Because they're going to get a range of 10. They're getting a -3 for the long range as well. So it's harder to hit. So they want to get a bit closer. So that's why there's that random sort of odd or even. Will they go for it or not? And then at range 9, they've done it again. And as soon as I move within range 8, they'll try it again. But if I then move within range 7, I'll not roll on that, and then they'll go for it, because I'll not be at long range anymore. So, maybe something I should try and remember. Yeah, good luck with that. Okay, so going back to our sequence of play, I can take that away again, I think. Show you some of the bigger picture. see what we're doing. It's just going in the admin phase now, I think. Sorry about the dog, she's on a mission. Yeah, so no more sign acquisition. Flights roll for disorder recovery, split flights, roll to remove shutdown markers, switch radar, switch SAM radars, yeah. Zoom climb markers would go away. No, we don't have any of that. Anti-radar tactics markers, generate dummy counters, make flights ready, refuel your arm, roll for loss. Right, activate parachuting crewman land. Well, no, they wouldn't. This because that parachutes. It says it would take 2 turns. So I think if he was at deck, he would land next turn in this phase. So I think it'll not be next turn, next again. I don't think it's relevant here. There's not real great way of marking that though. I mean, I could have possibly. I think because it doesn't matter, then it's fine. I can maybe put a small dice ticking it down, maybe. Roll for crew capture, roll for crew rescue. But we looked at that already, didn't we? 26.1, 26.2. Yeah, we looked at that. 26.2. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think any of that's coming in yet. It's only if we had a combat search and rescue mission set up, I think. However, they will automatically be rescued if they're on their side of the front. And what was it? They'll be automatically captured if they land in a hex on the other side of the front in a certain conditioned hex, basically. So none of that. Both players set up any fights. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so nothing. So what have we got? We've got max turn markers up there. Oh, must have left that one behind. You must have had one before. Right. And we've got this BVR avoid marker. Ah, yeah, that's on that, isn't it? So that's got to spend that. Got the SAM launch marker, but I probably don't need that there anymore, I don't think. Because it's heavily damaged, it's shut down, etc. So, and then we've got a full acquisition marker, which stays around as well. Okay. Right, I think that's at the end of the turn now. Well, it was quite good to get to the end of the turn, which I didn't think I was going to do, but there wasn't much more happened, and then there was that little blunder about you should have checked for that SAM firing. But, yeah. Okay, so moving on, turn 4 will be next. So we're still okay, let's say 12 turns. We've got what I think we shot down one of theirs for 2 points, and we've got 3 points for that. So we're sitting at 5 points. We need to get 10 for the win. So next turn is hopefully going to see us having a go at this. However, this is going to try and take us out as well while we're moving here, because it's got full acquisition on us now. And as soon as I make one more movement point in there, which I've got to do to get... Yeah, and I'm assuming every movement point... Well... Hang on, I was only doing... the reason I rolled that dice twice was because I needed to check if they were going to attack at that range, because it was long range. But every movement point... Oh, you know what? We'll get to it next turn. I think every movement point, they might do that check. Once they're past that check, then they'll roll the dice to see if they actually... No, they'll try and fire at us and see if they're going to get a possible hit. I think that's how it'll work. But we'll find out next turn, so that could be quite interesting as well. Right, I'll get away for now, because this battery's just about to go. This is part 6, finishing off. I'll hopefully get this out tomorrow sometime. And I may get started with part 7. Well, I'll get started out whenever. Yeah. Okay, cheers.